topics: pay equity for women, self-care, parenting, and financial wellness. I certainly commend this organization for their efforts to empower our community. And I look forward to partnering with them in the upcoming year to do just that, provide more information on financial literacy for the community. Just as a reminder, for those of you who may be looking for some fun and festive activities for the upcoming week, the Women for Progress Mississippi will be hosting a runway social and Kwanzaa kickoff event this Thursday, December the 12th at the Railroad District. This event is pretty interesting to me. From the description, it sounds like a combination of a fashion show, networking event, and shopping experience, and a celebration of those dynamic women who have been nominated as the Woman of the Year. Tickets for this event are available on Eventbrite, so we hope you will go out and support the Mississippi Women for Progress Mississippi's and hosting of the Runway Social and Kwanzaa Kickoff event. Now, last week I did a little shout out for a gentleman that was not listening to the show. And I was told that he said that he would have his radio on this morning. So I got to go back, Mr. Armstrong, and give that shout out again to make sure Mr. Earl White hears his name on the radio this morning. I recognized him last week as my customer of the week. Mr. White has invited me to speak to his family about the importance of building, protecting, and transferring wealth. And I look forward to working with the White family to help them lead that discussion. We certainly want to make sure that we are doing our part to help our families, our friends. And for many people, they don't often know how to lead that discussion. So Dr. Williams is here to help you with that. Mr. Armstrong, if you know anybody, just let them know Dr. Williams is right here. We have copies of Learning to Trust, a Black Family's Guide for Building, Protecting, and Transferring Wealth, and I'll be very happy to lead that discussion. So I look forward, Mr. White, to being with you and your family in the upcoming weeks. Now, I got a transition here. You guys know that I mentioned a few weeks ago that I have a vision, and my vision for my show is to provide a platform where we can highlight business owners, because I'm a business owner myself, as well as Black authors. I'm an author myself, and I think it's very important for us to provide platforms that elevate others. And I am so excited. I tell you, I'm so excited today that I have an in-studio guest who actually falls into both of those categories, a small business owner as well as an author. And in his spare time, can you imagine in his spare time? In his spare time, he is a line dance instructor, which is where I met him, on the dance floor. But I am pleased to welcome to Studio B, WMPR, Mr. Ken Cole, my good friend. How you doing, friend?
I'm okay. Good morning. And how are you this morning?
I am fantastic. I'm fantastic. It's Monday. I say on Mondays, I'm marvelous. Marvelous Monday.
Well, that's good. I say this is a little bit too early for me normally to come see you.
I realize that, and I tell my audience I have a very early show. Dr. Williams is an early morning person. You can find me most days of the week somewhere between the hours of 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. I'm up and moving. So I do count it an honor, and I thank you, Mr. Cole, for joining me, because I know that about you, my friend. You are not an early morning person. So let's just kind of get into who you are and what you do. I am so intrigued by you, my friend, because you do fall into several of the categories of my interest. And particularly, I want you to tell our listening audience about your business. So what is it that you do? What type of service do you provide?
Well, my business, first of all, is called Cuff Crackers Bail Bonds.
Okay.
And what I do, when somebody's accused of a crime, they get arrested, they go to jail. And between the time of trial and sitting in jail, they need a chance to get out. prepare defense, spend time with their family, their loved ones. And so the judge sets them a bond, and they call me.
Okay.
And I become the jail in essence. I get them out of jail. I keep in contact with them. They call me every so often, like once a week. And whenever it's time for their trial, which can be anywhere from 3 months to 3 years away, we stay in contact. I make sure that they're aware of what's going on, when they get indicted, where they're at in their court proceedings. And we do that. I do it over and over again.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. That's interesting to me because we know that particularly in our community, we find ourselves involved with the criminal justice system, and oftentimes it's on the wrong side. So what inspired you to start that type of business? Why did you see a need for that type of business?
Well, the people around me, particularly when I got from the military to Jackson, there were a lot of problems. There were a lot of tensions between them and the police. And nobody understood the process. So in the course of me trying to understand it, I came across the bail bonding part of it, and people being free to get out. I've had at least, well, I've had a couple of friends who just sat in jail the whole time. And I wanted to change that. We missed the person being in jail. It wasn't a money thing. This is where they felt more comfortable at.
Okay.
But I didn't want anybody else to have to go through that. Anybody to suffer. So my solution was to get into that part of the business and make financial, ease the burdens a little bit. If you didn't have all the money, it was such a big, high stake you had to put down. I gave you payment plans, stuff like that. Just a way to let people be free, be with their loved ones through the holidays, through family events, just until it was time to go to trial.
Okay. So let me ask you, with this profession, give us just kind of a brief overview of some of the pros and cons for someone else that's listening that may be interested in this type of business. So just kind of briefly, what would you say, how long have you been in business, first of all?
I've been in business, I'm coming up on 24 years.
So you've been offering this service to the community for 24 years. So certainly you've had enough time to assess this type of business. So I'm sure you've had some instances where things worked out, things didn't work out. So just kind of give us an idea of what some of the pros and cons are of this type of business.
Well, in any endeavor, you're going to meet good people, you're going to meet bad people. And you're going to meet people who keep their word and people who are they're not good at keeping their word.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, you find out that just because somebody's a good person, don't mean it's somebody you can depend on or trust.
Okay.
That's the first thing I had to realize.
Okay.
The pros, when somebody goes through a process, they make a mistake, and you get to help a person a good person, and they're so thankful, they're so grateful afterwards. That makes you feel, that takes you to a special place when you can help a person.
Okay.
The cons, sometimes, just some people just not going, their word is not that important to them.
So in other words, some of us just ain't gonna do right. We just ain't gonna get, what was the man name in the movie? Can't get right. Some of us just can't get right. I tell you. So in this profession, would you say, is this a dangerous profession or a dangerous business to be in? Or do you ever have any concerns about your safety?
Well, it can be dangerous. Anything you do can be dangerous. I mean, we get out of bed in the morning, we don't know if we're going to make it back that night. This business, it is dangerous. Think about a police officer who doesn't have the force behind him. You're going out and you're dealing with people who, some good, some bad. And you got to be able to protect yourself, but you got to carry yourself a certain way too. Okay. All right. So let's just
as a recap for those that may be just joining us in the middle of the conversation, can you give us the name of your business again and tell us what type of service you provide?
Well, the name of the business is Cuff Crackers Bail Bonds.
Mhm.
And what I do, I get people out of jail
Mhm.
between the incarceration and the time to go to trial.
Okay, so if someone is interested, I know that we have a lot of families, unfortunately, that will need your services. How can they contact you, Mr. Cole?
But the best way is through my cell phone number.
Mhm.
That's 601-497-4133.
Okay, repeat that again for our audience.
601-497-4133.
Okay, so as I mentioned when we introduced you, you wear many hats. You're not just a business owner, but you're also an author. That's something that I learned about you after we met. So tell me, how long have you been writing?
Now, writing is my passion, writing and reading,
Okay,
and I've been doing that all my life.
okay.
I was at one point, I was writing a short story every day,
Wow.
and just friends, family, I show it to them, and writing is not the medium everybody ascribes to it. People like TV,
Right.
but the people who are interested, I would show them a short story. I joined a couple of book clubs around here, well, writing clubs,
Mhm.
and the Mississippi Writers Guild for one.
Wow, okay.
And we'd meet up and read our stories to each other once a week, sometimes once a month, sometimes once a week. Just had fun with it.
Well, Ken, I can only imagine knowing you. We've known each other for a couple of years now, and you have always been very, let's see, how do I put this? Colorful.
Okay.
Your rapture that is reflected in your writing, your short stories. So, is there a particular genre that you tend to favor in your writing?
Well, not really. I try to write about everything.
Mhm.
When I wrote about my book, that was urban fiction.
Okay.
I wanted to write about people around me,
Mhm.
things I'd seen, things I'd witnessed, and things that most people just fantasize about.
Okay, so and would this be the book you're referring to when he said no?
Yes.
All right, so I have a copy of Mr. Cole's book when he said no. And I tell you, to all of those of you that may be able to remember back to or relate to the Harlequin romance era, um, this book, that those have nothing on this book right here. I tell you. This makes for some very, very interesting reading when he said no. So tell us about this book. For those that may be interested in getting a copy of your book, Ken, where can they find your book when he said no?
Well, go on Amazon,
Uh-huh.
put the title of my name in, and a book will pop up. It's
Okay.
about $15, and well, it's set in Jackson
Okay.
for the most part,
Okay.
and I think it's a very good read. I tell everybody, I'm an introvert with extrovert tendencies.
Wow, that's interesting. I would have never guessed that.
But what that means is I'm quiet about what I'm doing,
Okay. Okay.
even though I
Gotcha.
like being in public with.
Okay, so you move in
Yeah.
silence. Okay, move in silence. And so is this the only book that you've written so
Yes, it
far? You've done a series of short stories.
Yeah.
Now, have you published any of your short stories?
No, just that book. I get around to that. I have a lot going on. I get around in the next 6 months or so.
Okay, okay, good to hear that. So when we say that, that will be your new project that you have kind of on the horizon, looking at taking some of your short stories and publishing those, making those available for those of us that would enjoy reading those. But when you say you have a lot going on, that's an understatement, my friend. As I mentioned, I met you on the dance floor. And I have to just put a plug in. I know that we do a show with Chef Charles on Thursdays where he's talking to us about healthy eating. I know my good friend Dr. Liddell talks to us about all of our health matters. But I have to say, and I want to commend you for what I see you doing with the community. We know that the African American community is suffering from an epidemic called obesity. We are not winning that war at all. We're not doing well with our eating. We're not doing well with our movement. We are inflicted with many, many ailments as a result of that. Everything from hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, all of these things. But when I see someone like yourself, Ken, who has committed themselves to getting people up and moving, getting them moving, that is to be commended. And I tell you, you are over at the Flowood YMCA about 3 times a week. When I attend those classes, I think what I'm marveled by is the mix of people. It kind of goes back to something that anybody that knows me knows. I love music. You know, I'm like the OJs. They said they had sung, I love music. Any kind of music, as long as it's grooving. I love music. But to see people of all colors, shapes, and sizes in that class having such a good time and knowing that you bring something that brings us together, that is something to be commended, my friend. So let's just talk about the line dancing. And unfortunately, Mr. Jones has rearranged this studio, Mr. Armstrong. We can't even hit a step over here. He got the singer now arranged where we can't hit a step. But how did you get inspired to start line dancing? Let's talk to the audience.
Well, first, let's go back to what you said.
Yes,
I agree. It's a war against obesity.
Yeah,
And you say we're losing. The food is just so good.
the food is so good, especially here in Mississippi.
That's right. Soul food and nothing like it. My grandmother was bedridden,
hmm
and I wanted to do something with her. She lived in Natchez, Mississippi. She's
Okay.
since passed away.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do something to get her to move.
hmm
And I studied, well, I went into a line dance class. I looked at silver sneakers. And unfortunately, she passed away. I couldn't really teach her and show her what I was learning. But I wanted to pass it on anyway. I wanted to get everybody to move. You know, as we get older, we can no longer jog and do basketball and everything we doing to keep in shape.
hmm
And so you want to find a way to keep moving.
hmm
Body's in motion, tend to stay in motion.
Right.
That's saying that what this is astronomical saying. And well, I wanted to get everybody moving, and I wanted to be able to move. I love basketball. I was getting too old for that. You know, start having more more injuries than anything. So when I got into it, I started doing. I liked it.
Well, I tell you, you have certainly created a space that has been conducive to movement, not only movement, but bringing people together. When I'm in the classes, I see a variety of people. I see Black people, I see Caucasian people, I see females, I see males. Of course, generally there are more females, and I think that may be because of you, Ken, and your personality. I just have to say that. But we do have a mix of individuals. We have Asian people in our class. We have Hispanic people in our class. And I think that's a great thing that we can all come together around movement. And one of the things that has been very impressive to me is you have taken that class and you've moved it beyond a class into the community. So let's just talk about a few of the community showcases that you have done around town so that our listening audience will know what you are doing.
Well, I try to go to at least the veterans nursing home.
Mhm.
I do more than them. I try to make a point to go there twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year with my class. I branch out into communities. I've been to cancer walks,
Mhm.
stuff along those lines. Anytime we can get into the community to promote movement, we say line dance, but it's movement, promote exercise. I'm willing to go to anything to do that. I was inspired. The The person who taught me line dance was Aaron Hunter.
Okay.
He inspired me, and he once taught me about community outreach.
Okay, and for those of you who may not know Mr. Honeysuckle, Mr. Honeysuckle is one of our seasoned, is it called seasoned saints, seasoned veterans, and I am just in awe every time I see that gentleman moving. Certainly, he has committed his life to, or this stage of his life, to helping keeping the community in motion. And that is a great thing because it does certainly help us to battle the war against obesity in our community. So let's just talk about some of the things you did just recently. I think in the month of October, I must admit, listening audience, Dr. Williams has been moving so fast and in so many directions that I've been absent from class for about what now? Couple of months now.
It's not gonna be long, but maybe a couple of months.
Don't put me on blast like that. We on air now. Don't put me on
Maybe
blast like that. Okay.
Let's see.
However, my classmates tell me that you guys have done quite a few things in the community. I know you are affiliated with the Flowood YMCA, and I know that they had some things for the kids back during the month of October.
Yes.
So you did taught the community the Michael Jackson Thriller
Well, we did. Yeah.
walk, okay, line dance,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the month of October, that was one of our business months.
Mhm.
I'm also affiliated with the Clinton YMCA,
Mhm.
and we had a trunk or treat with them.
Mhm.
It was doing I don't even remember the exact date. It was right around Halloween, probably 2 days before Halloween, and the whole community came out.
Oh yeah,
The
I
parking
saw
lot
that.
was full.
I
It was
saw
just,
that.
I thought we had all of Clinton down there.
Yeah.
And all the kids got to come out. We had candy. We had a safe space to
Mhm.
collect candy. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, I saw those.
Kids really
saw
enjoyed
those
themselves.
pictures.
Their parents enjoyed themselves. We were teaching a thriller line dance,
Mhm.
and we was encouraging everybody to participate. They loved it. It was incredible. We also did the same line dance that the Reservoir YMCA. We got put on makeup. We zombified ourselves.
Oh wow, I missed that
It
one.
was incredible. It was something.
What's your song of preference?
My song of preference.
Oh, Mr. Jones, now I was really just teasing. I didn't say we were
Let's see.
going. I didn't say we were going to junk up and work the middle this morning.
Uptown Funk.
Uptown
But my favorite one right now is Down in the Country.
Down the creek, kid, you're not gonna make me dance
We're
at
not
7 o'clock in the
gonna
morning.
do it. We're not gonna
Is it clean?
Is it clean?
Oh, I was there.
Let me see. Is it clean?
Yeah, it's down in the country. Yeah.
No, it's totally clean. But it's okay. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So it's talking money and more. Oh, we're doing the and more part right here. I said we talk about it. I didn't say
No, it's clean. Down in the Country.
we gonna put it in motion this morning. Mr. John's gonna put me to work.
You complaining about the work over here, so man.
Listen, audience, since we've been here doing this interview, Mr. Sherry Jones has come in here and made a dance floor. He's gonna put Dr. Williams to work this morning. And I just said, I've been missing class, Mr. Jones. Look, so I may not be able to hit that step like I once could. But it's like riding a bike. When you say Ken,
That's right. You come back, you fit right back in.
fit right back in. So I'm looking at my time is winding down. Mr. Ken Cole, I want you to provide your contact information. Once again, we've enjoyed having you, my friend, because I know that you provide a valuable service to our community, and they just may find themselves or a friend in a situation where they need your services. So once again, tell us the name of your business and how they can contact you.
The name of the business is Cuff Crackers Bell Bar. My cell phone number is 601-497-4133. Once again, that's 601-497-4133.
Okay, and for those that may be interested in attending one of your classes, tell us about your schedule. Where can we find you?
Well, at Flowood YMCA, I'm there Monday and Wednesday at 10, Friday 10 a.m. and Friday at 12 p.m. and Tuesday night at 6 p.m.
Okay. Okay,
And for Clinton YMCA, 9:30, Tuesday and Friday, and 6:20 on Thursday nights.
okay, all right. Now, do you have any upcoming community showcases planned for the month of December?
No, not right now. We'll start again in January.
In January. Okay, listening audience, we have had the pleasure of having my good friend, Mr. Ken Cole, in studio with us this morning, but our time is winding down. We got to get out of here and make room for our next guest. And I don't know if that's going to be Mr. Henderson this morning. Mr. Jones is shaking his head, so there won't be Mr. Henderson this morning. So I guess Mr. Sherry Jones, you up next. Thank you so much for hanging out with Dr. Williams and Mr. Ken Cole right here on WMPR 90.1 Soul Talks Money and More. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Oh, Lord.